Good morning, everyone. Hope you are doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. I am your host, Faith James, and it is my joy, my passion, my privilege to come and spend this time with you every morning. The mission for the show, it's about inspiring into action, and we read from a good book every month. And last month we did Stephen Pressfield's The War of Art. So if you haven't gotten that, pick that up. And this month we're going to be focusing on some of the lessons in high performance habit. Brendon Burchard's #1 New York best-selling book. So let's say good morning. If you're in the studio with me live, come on in and say hi. Good morning, Marion. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you. Good morning, Amber. How are you, beautiful? Amber is always in the house. We so appreciate her undying love and support. And go ahead and share this video. If you know anyone who needs a little bit of inspiration in their life, somebody who is just sort of stuck in the doldrums and not really making any forward progress, always having a story about how life is not fair to them, I want you to invite that person in, because that's not a place to be. You cannot. Good morning, Brendon, my love. Good morning, honey. Thank you for being here. Hello, Mikey. How are you? Welcome again, my love. Thank you so much for coming back to the studio with us. We love that. I love it. Super duper. Awesome. Yeah, I see you now, Brenda. I see your name now. So StreamYard got that together. So share this video, start a watch party. You can use the title, Seek Clarity. And let's just get as many people as we can into this groove, into this flow, because there's so much work to be done. The assignment is great. The commission is great. There's work to be done. And every single day that we spend sitting in our story, talking about who did what to us, when, where, why, and how, and not moving forward, as I like to say, you're living in the past. And that's not meant to be insensitive or cruel, but it's with the deepest, deepest, deepest well of love that I can bring up to you to say, there are plenty of people with stories that would blow your mind in terms of the trauma, the travesty, the just pure horror that they have gone through. But they have become overcomers. They have become, even though nevertheless, people. And that is what I want for you. I shared yesterday where one of my favorite lines that Paul says in the scripture, none of these things move me. None of these things move me, because I know where I'm going. I want you to know where you're going. So that's why we're working on clarity. So let's read. We're in practice 2, still in personal habits in the clarity section. So it says, determine the feeling you're after. This is so huge, so huge. Determine the feeling you're after. So if you say, I want 50 people in my program. Good morning, beautiful Makiko. Oh, I appreciate you so much. And thank you for being here. And congratulations again on your engagement. We're super happy for you. Joy, joy, joy. So, so good. We love that. Determine the feeling you're after. And this is a quote now from Howard Thurman. He says, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Howard Thurman. And what I will just add to that, or a different point on that, is obviously you have to also be doing, if you're thinking about monetizing, it, there has to be that need, right? So you can love to knit, little, socks for cats. Let's just say. But if nobody's in the market for socks for cats, you won't be able to monetize that. If that brings you alive, then hey, then you've got a wonderful, beautiful hobby, and that can become something that fulfills you to really do awesome things on this other side here of where you actually are monetizing. But certainly in the area of monetization, it has to be the combination of the thing that lights you up as well as addressing a need in the marketplace. But we'll let that quote from Howard Thurman sit. We understand where the intention is coming from. So he says the second practice that will help you heighten and sustain clarity in your life is to ask yourself frequently, what is the primary feeling I want to bring to this situation? And what is the primary feeling I want to get from this situation? I can't stress to you enough how important, how vital this is right here that you catch this. Ask yourself this question to sustain clarity in your life. Ask it frequently. What is the primary feeling that I want to bring? So when people come into my space, what is the primary feeling that I want to bring? I want people to leave with a gift of inspiration. I want people to leave with a bag full of potential. I want people to drive out of here with a dump truck of hope, purpose, power, potential, all of it, right? So I know, how do I want people to feel? What do I want to bring? I want to bring that. So when people talk about me, they go, oh my gosh, she's such an inspiration. She is such in such a caring way. She is so coming from the heart. Whatever the thing is, you have to be intentional about it. What do you want to bring to that situation? And then equally is, what do you want to get from the situation? So you could say, I want to have $1 million business, right? And let's say you're in real estate. And so your brokerage, you want your brokerage to be doing $1 million in sales. But you haven't specified, so what do I want to get out of, right, generating that $1 million? Because there's energy around everything, and there's the give and the get, and there's the push and the pull. So you can develop $1 million brokerage with nightmare clients who disrespect you at every turn. Absolutely you can. You have $1 million brokerage, but the feelings that you're getting out of it is being put upon, put down, disrespected, feeling small, feeling insignificant, having agita every morning that you wake up, because you know when you go in, what you're going to get is just a wall full of negativity. But you got your $1 million. You got your $1 million though, so we should be all good, right? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So I'll tell you a story that when I first launched my branding business, and I hadn't done this work yet. So I was still in the ego that says, ooh, I want to have 20 people in my first group program. Like 20 just is a nice, good round number that feels good. And I went boldly toward the throne of grace and said, God, I want 20. I just want to launch out the gate with a bang, be like, look, right away, I got 20 people. And God, being the good and faithful, the good father that he is, said, there you go, my child. I think I had close to 20. Let's just even say, it doesn't matter. Close is not the story. Because that's all I specified. I didn't say anything more than that. I didn't say, and I want to feel this way when I'm coaching these 20 people. I want the energy in the room to feel this. I didn't set up anything. I just 20 bodies, please. Back up the truck. Give me 20 people, throw them in, and you're good to go. Here's your paid in full. Go on about your business. I got my 20. That's all I ordered. And that's what I got. 20 nondescript, 20 who, let me just tell you right now, were not the ideal. I can't tell you how many of that number actually finished the program, how many actually finished paying for the program. I was doing more accounts receivable whose PayPal wasn't clicking, wasn't paying, wasn't processing. I was in the controller's role as opposed to being in the CEO and coach role. And you know what that feeling was like? It was heavy. It was like, oh, who's going to come to me now and say something else about their PayPal, why they can't pay this month, and now I've got to do this, and oh, they cancel this, and I wasn't in my flow. I wasn't just showing up and dropping nuggets and magic. I was doing that, but at the same time, I'm being pulled away into admin and accounts receivable and controller role because I didn't specify. So you have to think about, how do you want to show up? What's the feeling that you want to bring? This is the clarity. So we can't just say, I want $1 million brokerage. We can't just say, I want to have like a fun show on YouTube. We can't just say, I want to have, 1,000 people in my yoga studio. We can't just say, I want to create, fun designs for a t-shirt for, women and children. That's not enough. That's not clear enough. Because use my example, you will get that. And if you don't specify, you won't get what you're thinking you want, but you haven't specified it. And the specificity comes from saying it out loud. I'm so happy and grateful now that I attract clients who pay me more than I even ask for. I'm so happy and grateful now that every session I have with a client starts off with a big smile, that we're in our highest frequency, we're in our highest vibration, that client walks away feeling so much in their potential. They go and they take action immediately. I'm so happy and grateful now that we're action takers in my program. You've got to get that clear. So that, and here's where that clarity helps you, so that when you meet someone or someone inquires and says, I want to study with you, I want to learn from you, I want to work in your company, and you already see the behaviors that you've already said are deal breakers for you, you're clear. You know what? This is not going to be a fit. And so I think you'll probably be better served with somebody who's able to meet you at this level, because where we are, we're working on people who are even though nevertheless. And so even when the pain comes, they're still climbing up. Even when the challenges come, they're still climbing up. Even when nobody opens their email, they're still climbing up. Even when nobody shows up to their virtual summit, they're still climbing up. We don't do sit and stew and wax and bemoan and complain and blame God. So this is not going to work. I don't care how much money they have in the bank. I don't care how much money they have on their credit cards. I am so clear now about the feeling that must persist, must exist in my company. I say this with all the love. At the PBC, we don't do crazy. We just don't. And so when you see behaviors that are not in alignment, because how do you know something is in alignment? You first must declare and decree what exactly the thing is that you want. And this is why a lot of us get into trouble, because, right, you're like me in the beginning where I'm like, send 20, any 20 will do. I just want to say 20 because I was in my ego, right? The self is like, look, girl, you're doing great. You just started your thing and look, you already have 20 people in your group coaching program. That's awesome. It's like, woo. You have to be very clear on the feeling. How do you want to feel? And how do you want people to feel? Those are things that must be present. Yes. God give me the t-shirt. Exactly. And so you want to make sure, listen, Mikiko, I don't even have to say another word. It is not, my joy is priceless. My peace of mind is priceless. My happiness is priceless. And I need you to adopt that same stance. Like, feel how special you are. And you set those boundaries and you set those parameters and you say, in this house, we do not do drama. We solve challenges, we find solutions for problems, but we do not do drama. So unless you can adhere to my feelings contract that says the only energies that we're exchanging is high vibes, potential, and possibility, purpose, then we can't work together. Because it's not going to be fair to you, it's not going to be fair to me, because you want to sit and stew and I'm trying to move forward. So we're incongruent in that manner. You have to know what you need and want to be able to make that decision. Because if you're on a call with somebody and somebody's like, yeah, you know what, I have a friend that I think she would be perfect for your, and you don't know, does this person align to the feeling that you're trying to be in? You have to protect your energy like your life depends upon it, because my friends, it does. When I tell you that the energy stealers, the energy robbers are out there roaming around looking for some energy to suck, you can't just act like you don't know that that's the truth. So we have to be very clear. We can't do business and say, oh, well, because, I don't want to hurt that person's feeling. And what is the feeling that you want to get out of the work that you do? Do you want to feel fulfilled? Do you want to feel creative? You want to feel valuable? If you want to do anything outside of what I'm looking for, it's not going to work. And because I'm the CEO, I get to say, right? I get to choose who I work with. I get to choose who I bring into my space, because if I observe you from afar and I already see, because thank God I have the gift of discernment, and I already see, this is a safe space. No, we're not doing that. So seeking the clarity, right? What's the primary feeling I want to bring to this situation? And what is the primary feeling I want to get from this situation? So if I were to ask you guys right now to in the comment, give me one word for this question. What is the primary feeling you want to get from the work that you're doing? It could be on the whole, or maybe it's a specific project you're working on right now. Maybe let's do project, because I think that'll be easier. Think of a particular project that you're working on, right? That's of course in support of the entire overall brand goal, your career goal, whatever it might be. And again, it could be even from a family situation. It could be a family situation. I want you to answer this question. What is the primary, we understand primary means one. Don't give me a list of 5. This primary means one, the focus. And then of course you can have secondary and tertiary, right? We understand that we have to have discipline in our responses. What is a primary feeling I want to get from this situation? So first tell me what your situation is, and I'm going to have us do a project that you're working on. So name the project and then the feeling. Project, feeling. Project, feeling. Name of a project, primary feeling that you want to get, right? That you want to get out of it. Project and feeling. Are we thinking? Are you working on this? Are we stuck? Where are we? I'm not seeing anybody comment. So am I to understand that you don't have a feeling or you're working on it? I'm going to wait a little bit more, but then I don't want to just take the time if we're not going to do that. But if you can't answer this here in this session with me in the show, then I want you to take this as your homework. Because you have to know, right? I did, and she doesn't do this program anymore, and I've been after her for the longest time. I'm like, you really need to do this again. But I did a workshop with Diana Moret when she was doing her life coaching many years ago, and there was a desired feelings workshop. And I can't even begin to tell you, let's see if I can put my hands on this quickly. I can't even begin to tell you how amazing that program was and how much it impacted my life. I still have it somewhere. I mean, I'm still trying to organize this drawer. And as you can see, it's still work to be done because I should be able to just put my hand on it. But suffice it to say, I still have it. Coming out of that workshop, just imagine this. If this were a card and at the top it said, my desired feelings. And so we did this for a desired feeling in your work, desired feeling in your relationship, desired feeling in your friend relations, different areas of life, in your health, etc. And so, and then I think you also had like an overall. So we ended up with, I think each of us had 5. And that desired feeling card has never been far from my mind. I say yes and no to projects based on my desired feeling. So you guys know I do contract work still for, major research firms for their Fortune 500 brands that are looking for strategy work. And then I kind of support that. And I remember and the way it works is they'll reach out and say, hey, we're doing this project for so-and-so. Can you jump in and help us, with the research and the strategy and all that stuff. And so they have to send me a scope in terms of like how many countries or how many focus groups and then I look at it and I determine if I have capacity to do it or not. And then I let them know and then give them my fee. Well, I looked at one time and I saw the scope. And then meanwhile, the backstory on it was the client was already like mad, annoyed at what was done before. So now this is the fix up. This is like the fixer round. I'm like, okay, so now I'm the fixer. And I looked at it and when it was doing what was required, and I was like, am I getting feelings of just ease and grace? Am I getting feelings of creativity and fun? Does this feeling seem to be potentially even anywhere as I look at this scope? And given the timing, I said, then if it's this crunch, then that means I've got to shut down my entire life, because this is literally what I do. I did one recently and I had to shut down my entire life because it was a 24-hour turnaround. It was like, hey, Faith, we've got this thing. This is the client. Can you, like, big major multinational brands. Oh, and it's due tomorrow. I was like, okay. Easy enough to do. Wasn't that challenging? But of course I accounted for the time and I gave them my fee accordingly and they paid. But my point was, When I looked at this other one, I was like, oh, no, no, no. It's already like the client's mad. So, anything you come back, when you say, oh, you send back your food and you're like, oh, the steak is not warm enough, or it's not, the right temperature. And then it's just not going to be right. So I just said, yeah, no, I don't have capacity to do this right now. And I let that go. I said, because that feeling that I'm looking for, I'm not seeing it in here. And my peace, as I told you before, is priceless. My peace of mind is priceless. My joy is priceless. So I'm not just going to give it away for a few thousands to have agita all day long. No. So if you can't understand where your feeling bits are right now, then you need to work on that. You need to know how you want to feel. How do you want to feel in your relationship? So we did the same thing. Do you want to feel, like your top, I think it was 5 or 6. A core desired feeling was respected, right? Respect me even before you love me, because I am just not the one who's going to sit and take any kind of foolishness. So the respect has to be there. If you're not clear on that, then you'll take any kind of, people could treat you any kind of way, because you're not clear. You don't know what the feeling is that you want out of this situation. So if this situation is a love relationship and you're not clear, that says, no, I want to feel cherished. I want to feel like, what does Rihanna say? Like I'm the only girl in the world, whatever that song is, right? Yeah, that's how I want to feel. If you're not clear, then you're not going to be clear. And then what you're going to get is a lot of confusion. Yes, I love that. Respect is a major ingredient for love. Yeah, respect me even before you love me. Because, a lot of people throw that word, oh, I love you. But then why did you do X, Y, and Z? And again, it comes back to us. Like, we have to be clear on, what do I want to get from this situation? So whether it's your work, your love relationship, your friendship, whatever, you have to do this work and get clear on that. So he says, most people are terrible at this, right? And do I count us all here? I haven't seen one comment, one situation, one primary feeling yet. So let's just say we're part of these people who are terrible. Underperformers especially are neglectful of the kinds of feelings they are experiencing or want to experience in life. So you're just letting life happen to you. You're not putting your coordinates to say, in this work situation, the coordinates are creative, fun, competence, exciting, and challenging, let's just say. So you got to put those coordinates in. So any project that you're doing, if it's not even close to that, then you have clarity. Now you can say, no, we're not doing this because these don't match the coordinates. So it says underperformers especially are neglectful at the kinds of feelings they are experiencing or want to experience in life. They bumble into situations and allow those situations to define how they feel. This explains why they have low self-esteem. They have low self-awareness and weak self-control. High performers demonstrate a tremendous degree of emotional intelligence and what I call willful feeling. In performance situations, they can accurately describe the emotions, but more importantly, they can also calibrate the meaning they draw from those emotions and determine the feelings they want to endure. So he gives an example. Let me give you an example. I worked with an Olympic sprinter who was at top of his game that year, but in prior years, his performance was often erratic. Sometimes he won a competition, other times he didn't even make the qualifying cut. When I got the call to work with him, he had a year-long winning streak. In our first session together, I asked, if you had to describe why you're winning in just 3 words, what would they be? He said, feeling, feeling, feeling. When I asked him to explain, he said, I got very clear about the feelings I needed in my mind and body before I walked out onto the field. While I readied myself at the starting blocks, what I sensed in the middle of the sprint and what I wanted to feel after I crossed the finish line and even all the way back into the tunnel. I asked if that meant he got control of his emotions and didn't experience performance anxiety anymore. He laughed. No. When I'm at the starting blocks and my body still senses the energy and the emotions of it all, my body is naturally aware of what's at stake. And there's an emotion of some fear that there's no matter what. That's there no matter what, sorry. But I don't feel anxious. I define the feeling. I tell myself that I am sensing a feeling of readiness and excitement. Right? So you have to already tell yourself, this is the feeling that I want to get out of it. And while you're in it, while you're preparing for it, while you're doing it, that feeling. So if it's, total relaxation, you're getting ready to, I'm relaxed. I live for a relaxed, client session. I live for a relaxed friendship, but whatever it might be, we've got to know happiness, peace, and growth is priceless and non-negotiable. So for Mikiko, when you say the happiness and the peace and the growth, right? So what I'm asking for is, let's even take one situation, because I want us to be able to try to break this down. What is one project you're working on right now, and what is the primary feeling you want from that one project? This is for everyone. Right? And the fact that we can't come up with that is telling, right? Brendon Burchard already says it. People are not good at this because we don't take the time to do this work. So this is why we're doing this now on Brand Momentum Morning, because this is how you're going to get into momentum. You got to know you've got to know what you want. It's sort of like you go to a restaurant and they say, oh, what do you have? And you're like, I don't know, bring me some from the kitchen. So they're like, oh, okay. I mean, listen, bring me something from the kitchen is different than when you've gone into a restaurant, like let's say laundry out on the West Coast, where there is no menu, but you're sitting at the table of a grand, accomplished gourmet chef. You're easy breezy. You're like, ooh, surprise me, bring it on. What are we having today? It's going to be a culinary delight. That's why you even go to laundry in the first place. But if you just go to a regular restaurant, like, oh, whatever, bring me something from the kitchen, they have zero ideas of what it is that you need, what you're looking for. And then they bring you something, then you're disappointed. You're like, oh, split pea soup. Like, come on, like who eats split pea soup when it's not like in the wintertime? Like, but you said, bring me something from the kitchen. So then now we can't get mad when we're not getting what it is that we want because we're not willing or able to articulate. I would like a beef broth soup with just some crisp vegetables, please. Thank you. There's no question that what they're coming back with is a beef broth soup with some crisp vegetables, right? It doesn't matter what you want as long as you want it. Your size, send it back till it's perfect. So I'm going to wrap us on this because I can see that there's work that needs to be done. This is the homework for you. What do you want to give in terms of feelings, and what do you want to get? How do you want to feel in your career? How do you want to feel when you're at your job? What are the feelings? Because if you get clear on those feelings and you start to see time and time again that none of those feelings are present, that's your opportunity to go find another job. That's your opportunity, if you're the CEO of you, to go work with some different clients, to put yourself in the position to go attract and work with some different clients. But until you get clear about the feeling, you're just sort of like, tossed about in the wind, and it's like, bring me something from the kitchen. Any old food will do. Just like I was like, oh, send me 20. And the 20 showed up. And like I said, at least half were like this, right? I didn't specifically say, I wasn't yet clued in to my people that these are the even though nevertheless people that I live for. So now if somebody gets on the phone with me and they don't sign, whether it's for platinum or something else, I'll just go, it's great. Because they're not the even though nevertheless. I'm good either way, and I keep it moving, and I'm preparing myself to do work with my even though nevertheless people. So do that work. It's very, very clear that needs to get done. Bakiko says, so on her project, achievement is the feeling, right? Is that a feeling or a state of being, right? So I want you to think about, so on your website, this project of launching, developing, creating, you want to have a sense of achievement. But I want you to think about like the feeling of it. Is it that you want it to be exciting, right? And so let's just say if you use something like that, like a real emotional feeling, and the team that you're working with or the developer, and it's just blah. They're only sending you, ideas that you're like, this doesn't feel fun and exciting. I don't feel a sense of achievement. Yeah, we got it done, but it's not really ringing true. So you have to be so clear. And this is important as well when you're giving direction to team or anybody else. If you're not clear, like when I brief my team and I say, this is a client, this is why I do the brand blueprint when we work together in Platinum, because I literally send that to them. Here is the essence of this client. Here are their top attributes. Here are their top strengths. Here are their top verbatims as recorded by people in their world. The essence and the vibe of the client is the following. So there's no guesswork. So when I get concepts back, it's not, way far afield. We're very much in the wheelhouse because I'm very clear and I'm very meticulous when it comes to this is the vibe. It needs to feel warm, modern, chic, or it needs to feel big, bad, bold, like edgy, right? So those are the working attributes, the feelings that I'm communicating so that I get back the concepts that I need to see in front of me before I send off to my clients. So anyway, do that work. I'm going to wrap us because I have to get ready for my my Kiki session with Miss Tasha Chen on her pages. So that's going to be at 11:30. So I have to go do my wardrobe change. So come join us. I'm going to be talking about money manifesting, what I do, what I've been doing in terms of my practice, and giving you guys some insight into how to create your ideal life. So if you want to be part of that conversation, come on over. Okay, brilliant. Okay, yeah, let's work on that, because guys, I want you to hear me tell you this story and to know the shift that it's made. It's not just about, I want 100 people in my class. You have to get very clear. You've got to do the work in the Accelerator. And again, if you're not in the Accelerator, comment Accelerator. Oh, you're so welcome, Marion. I do this Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. every weekday. So this is what I want you to do. If you're not in the Brand Accelerator program with us, where you get this and more, I want you to comment below now in the comment section. Just type in the word Accelerator and we'll send you information on the program. You can learn more about it. It's a one-time $97 pay while the codes last. And you want to take advantage of that, because as soon as those codes at AppSumo are sold out, it's a wrap. This program will never be $97 again, because it's a lot of effort and energy for me to be physically showing up. Like, there's no team, there's no other coach that's doing the work. It's me. And so my clients who are in my VIP and in my Platinum pay thousands of dollars to get my attention. And so this is a $97. This is like my passion project. This is because I want to be able to meet you where you are and get you the help that you need if in fact you are, even though nevertheless, and you are ready to go. So this is not going to be for everyone. Yes, there we go. So Marion, you will see that pop up. That's the information being sent to you. Click on it, get some more information. But I tell you, it's a one-time 97 pay. That's the best $97 you would have ever spent in your life. It's a no-brainer. Get in before the codes are sold out. That's all I'm going to say on that. So be well, everybody. I'm going to go get changed. 11:30, I'll be back on over on Tasha's page. Come join the conversation. In the meantime, make a note to yourself to take action now. Start doing this work on getting clarity, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.